John, is this as mad as you've been at any of our teams? Because you were fired up yesterday when this one went final.
Yeah. Wow, that's...
And you still are today.
In recent time, yes. Because you think, I mean, you were disappointed in what happened in the postseason last year for the Lions and disappointed, but your expectations for the Wings have been so low. It's hard to be mad at the Pistons, even though they set a record for the amount of losses, because their expectations were so low. And maybe it's just because I talked myself into the whole Tigers in 2, and TIT still works technically because Tigers at 3.
Do you believe it though?
No, I don't. And I'm still hopeful that today somebody's bat is going to find a ball. Like, it can't be this bad for this long, but it is. And when you have so many missed opportunities yesterday, even knowing that this is a team that can't hit right now, and that they were, I heard Dan Dickerson, and I'm not going to get it right, but for the first, I think he said 140 games of the year, they were averaging right around 5 runs per game. Since then, it's been just over 2. And so you keep thinking, well, they're going to be able to get back to what they were prior to this. Even when the pitching was bad in July, they were still making some contact. And then in August and September, the bats just totally evaporated. I don't know what happened, or and it's I understand July 31st is the trade deadline, but the guys that were here, they were hitting before that.
They were overachieving,
but
they're not that good. And the only one who didn't realize it was the guy running the team.
So yes, if you go out there and you get Eugenio Suarez, and I know that his average hasn't been good. I was all over that, right? Hey, Costa, the right-handed bat that you wanted, the third baseman. But when he made contact, if you just get 1 or 2 more wins, and all you were looking for yesterday is a bat, and you could go with somebody whose last name starts with a C 2 years ago. Could he have provided a hit in the moment? Somebody whose name that starts with a B that could have been a key at
a
bat.
Veteran, proven commodity in the postseason. Look, this isn't even about the deadline. It's about last offseason, too, because we did this show already. The last 2 games against Cleveland to close the 2024 season, they were 2 of 23 runners in scoring position and flamed out. Guess what they are in games 1 and 2 this year? Runners in scoring position against the Guardians. 2 for 23. They did it again. They ignored it again. We're in the same place again. Yeah, that's frustrating.
And even if you had, and part of the problem I have with AJ taking out Riley Greene is, first of all, it should have happened way earlier in the season. How many times did we ask about Spencer Torkelson? And this is, going back to last year to AJ. And he would talk about, well, maybe the next, the next thing is for him to sit next to me. And then it's down to AAA. Well, Riley Greene has been striking out at a near historical rate. But this should have happened 30 days ago, 45 days ago. You do it in a situation where you got to have it. You go to the guys that got you there. And it wasn't Jahmai Jones. It was Riley Greene. If you had somebody on the bench that had been a former great, that had been a 5 or 6 time All-Star in his career, but he's at the end of his time, but he's been in those moments, almost like a Javi Baez, where he's sitting on the bench and you're like, you know what? Let's just see if he's got one more moment in him. And I know people said yesterday, they brought up Kurt Gibson, where he hobbles to the plate. He wasn't the player that he used to be, but you don't have that guy that you can bring in. Jahmai Jones isn't that guy.
Okay, I want to get as many phone calls as we can get in before the 2 Grand Slam, 725, chance to win a bunch of money. You guys are on hold. We're going to get to you. One thing on Riley, because it startled everybody. How do you take out your all-star with 36 homers and 111 runs batted in. You can't take him out of the game. A.J. Hinch took out Jake Rogers. Riley Greene against lefties is Jake Rogers. 610 OPS for Rogers, 620 OPS for Riley Greene. If he took out Jake Rogers yesterday, would anybody be upset? No, but Riley Greene hits left-handed pitching like he's Jake Rogers. That was AJ reinforcing the idea that we are a matchup-oriented team. That Riley is not a complete ball player, despite what we may think he is or want him to be. He strikes out a ton. He does not hit left-handed pitching. He's not a complete ball player. Nobody's above the team. Jami's the better matchup. We're playing the matchup. Well, he didn't do it with Carp the day before. They didn't have two on the day before. This was maybe the best, last, only chance for them to win the game. Well, what if they need Riley in extras? I'm playing to win right now with a runner on third base and one out. I don't trust Riley Greene to put the ball in play. That's what he told everybody with his decision. He didn't say it publicly at the microphone, but he said, I don't trust Riley Greene to put the ball in play because he's Jake Rogers against left-handed pitching.
But he was Jake Rogers against left-handed pitching back in July.
Valid.
In August.
Valid. But was this the wrong time to make the right decision? Because it's the right decision. It doesn't mean it works out, but the numbers back it as the right decision. It's not the wrong time to make the right decision. Your season's on the line. And I get it, Riley may have hurt feelings. It may have been shocking and stunning to people who've propped Riley up. He's not that complete ball player. 248-539-9797. Let's get to Tony in Ferndale. Tony, what's up?
Hey, perfect timing for me to jump off that, Jim, because I'm not in the boat of being too upset with the Riley Greene pinch hitting situation. I mean, we're in a position to close out the series, so go out and close it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, right? Where I think I'm more frustrated is why is Casey Mize getting pulled that early in the game, and now we have fried our bullpen for not only today but any future, hopeful series that we have coming up. I mean, I was driving to Cleveland for Game 1, and I called into Doug and Karsh, and I was fired up. I knew we were going to win Game 1, Scooble on the mound, but the thing I said was Casey Mize in Day 2 is going to be huge to see if we can have the second reliable starting pitcher going into some future, series coming up here. And we only saw him for how many innings yesterday? I don't understand that play, to be honest with you. These guys got to go the distance in starting pitching, especially in these playoff series.
When they pulled Mize, they blinked first.
Yep.
It's a one-run game. Both teams are going to go to their pen much earlier. Who blinks first? AJ thought he could go to Holton and face all the lefties, but then Vogt said, I'm not going to panic. I'll wait out Tyler Holton and keep all my lefties in.
Who has the shorter hook in the two games, Mize or Flaherty?
Well,
for me, it's Flaherty. So that's why you let Mize go farther too. It's a reason to do it. It was foolish to pull him out. I mean, is Holton available today? I think so.
He might be. Here's the thing I'd say. Pulling Mize there, you could have got away with it if he had played the bullpen better from that point on. I'm not mad about it. Holton made sense. Why is Melton coming in the game to face three lefties when Herter is warmed up and ready? See, AJ could have got away with pulling Mize early if he pulled all the right strings later, and he didn't. It was not a good day for AJ.
No, I don't agree with. I agree with that totally. Yeah. I don't understand why Herter didn't come in. I don't know why you put that pressure on that kid,
on a rookie.
But you wouldn't let a guy who had 36 homers this season bat. And I know me and you disagree, and you're not wrong in saying he's borderline Jake Rogers in the moment.
Statistically, but Jake Rogers against left-handed pitching.
Allegedly good players / all-stars, they have to be given that moment.
Yeah.
And you got to see what they do in that moment. Who would you rather have bat, Jim? You'd rather have Jake Rogers come. What if Jake Rogers came in yesterday?
I'd rather have Jahmai Jones than both of them. That was the whole point.
I disagree.
I do too. And he has been in more moments and is more experienced to be able to come through in a moment like that.
But he doesn't.
No, and
he flatlines in all the high leverage moments.
So does every other guy.
Not Jahmai. Jahmai's actually been kind of clutch for this team. Specific matchups. That's what they've done all year.
The issue I have is why are you doing this in the, what was it, the seventh inning, eighth inning?
Eighth inning, yeah.
Eighth inning of a gotta-have-it game versus 45 games ago, 30 games ago, 20 games ago, even in the last week of the season.
I'll paint you part of the picture. First inning, 2 on, no out. Kerry Carpenter strikes out. Spencer Torkelson strikes out. Riley Greene strikes out. You want to relive that again? Just keep doing it because you know what this guy's going to do. You're not even going to put the ball in play.
Well, the one thing that we do know, by the end of today, we won't have to watch this awful matchup anymore between Cleveland and Detroit.
Because
9 times in the last, 2 weeks?
It's a lot.
It's just make it end.
And
it will. No matter how it ends, it will end.
1 for 15 runners in scoring position. 15 left on base. 7 strikeouts in those spots, and they only got the ball to the outfield 3 times. Oh, and AJ didn't have a good day. Lot to talk about. Let's get right to the phones. Let's get to Mike in Windsor. Mike, good morning.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, a couple things. Number one, I got to disagree with you, Jim. Riley Greene needs to hit in that situation 10 times out of 10.
Then he needs to become a better hitter because he's not good enough to hit in that spot.
So here's the thing, Jim. A better hitter. Who is the better pure hitter?
It's not Jahmai Jones is the better pure hitter because Riley Greene swings and misses too much.
Jahmai Jones is not a better hitter than Riley Greene.
Specifically against left-handed pitching, I have all of the data to tell me that. Now, you have your feelings about what you want Riley Greene to be. I'm telling you who he actually is.
So I think the conversation then turns to traditional baseball against analytics. When you rely too much on the numbers, you get these situations that we're in right now. And then, it's playoff baseball. You need your best players in situations.
Well, let's talk situations because Riley Greene's a 185 hitter in high leverage spots. He is not a clutch performer. Everything about that matchup screamed he shouldn't be at the plate if you have a better option.
You know what? Your better option right there, to me, if we want to talk about guys who have traditionally and statistically matched lefties, why not Andy Ibanez in that situation? Why do we go to Jahmai Jones? Ibanez has experience hitting in those high leverage situations. Look at Houston last year.
I'd hear that argument.
So that there's no question in my mind that AJ Hinch mismanaged that game.
I agree with you, by the way, Mike, because I don't want this to come out like I'm trying to run cover for AJ. I don't think he had a good day.
Hey, I'm a Canadian. We always over exaggerate, man. That's what we do. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. It's Jahmai Jones in that spot. I think that's where the question is. If Andy Ibanez comes up in that situation, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I get the statistics. But Jahmai Jones, a guy that was in AAA last year, right? A guy that they had to get brought up halfway through the season. The only real numbers we have from this guy, I mean, yes, he's got 7 home runs. Yes, he's great with the leadoff stick, but come on.
I think you brought up something interesting. You brought up the analytics and the over-reliance on the analytics, right? For better or worse, this is how they built this roster. And I don't love it. For the record, I wish they had more consistent everyday players who you didn't have to platoon. But they got here on the principled idea of platooning and playing the matchups.
Well, and you even go to the matchups or the reason that he gave for putting in Troy Melton. Well, it's velo and all the extra pitches that he throws.
Right, he didn't play matchups there.
Right,
with 3 lefties due up for the Guardians.
But he went with other analytics, so they're picking and choosing which analytics to go with at which time.
Okay, so I brought this up off the air to you guys, but Riley Greene had 600 at-bats exactly this year. He struck out 201 times. Those numbers suggest he will not strike out. He'll only strike out 1 out of 3 times.
Okay, who's more likely to strike out, Jahmai Jones or Riley Greene? I can play the numbers.
Yeah, but who's more likely to hit a home run?
Jahmai Jones against the left-handed pitching.
No,
he
not,
slips 200 points higher.
You're taking a journeyman AAA guy here.
You have this.
You have to play your stars, Jim.
He's not the star you think he is, Tom. That's the problem. You are guilty of what everybody else in this city is doing. No. I'm not going to let you do this. You're doing what everybody else in the city is doing. You're propping up Riley Greene to something he's not. He's Jake Rogers against left-handed pitching. Argue it. Those are the numbers.
You're taking analytics too far here. This is the guy that hit 36 home runs this season and had 111 RBIs.
Not in that spot.
And would only strike out 1 out of 3 times in that spot. You have to. Jim Leland probably had his heart skip a beat yesterday. Do you think Tony La Russa would have done this?
How many World Series did Leland win here?
He did better than AJ.
Let's get to the phones. Let's get to Brad in Waterford. Brad, you're on 97.1.
Good morning, guys.
What's up, buddy?
Both of you, man. Decaf, man. Decaf.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you know this. You guys are baseball guys, and John, you know a lot of travel baseball. It's a term, all right? You got dudes and you've got dogs. A-Rod was a dude, great player. Derek Jeter was a dog, all right? Clutch, Gene. Go ahead and Cookies, I'm probably going to go with your number theory here. Look at Riley Greene's production when the Tigers had the lead. When you got the lead, there's really no pressure. Then look at it when you don't have the lead. He disappeared in the playoffs last year. He's disappeared now. I'm not sure about the Jemai Jones thing. I'm just not, but I'm not going to argue with you because you're scaring me today, Cookies.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to scare any of the listeners. I think people are propping up Riley, and I think AJ told you loud and clear what he really thinks of him, whether he was willing to say it at the microphone afterwards. He told you he's not that guy, to use your point. Like, yeah,
but
he's not one of those
I also
dudes.
think you're arguing against an argument that's not there. I don't think people are saying Riley Greene is the answer. What they're really saying is there is no answer. So if you dance with the girl that you took to the date, and Riley Greene is supposed to be that individual, he's not. But that's who they have. That's who hit 36 home runs. That's who hit 111 RBIs. That is the pretty girl that you said, hey, do you want to go to homecoming? You're at homecoming. Now all of a sudden you decide that, well, while we're dancing, I want to dance with another girl.
Yeah. Jim, I just have to say this to you, and if I would have told you yesterday before the game that Jemai Jones is going to pinch hit for Riley Greene today, you would have thought I was freaking crazy. Don't you admit that?
Okay, look, it startled people, but I remember asking AJ about Riley's struggles against lefties in September and suggesting that he sits more against lefties. And AJ didn't bristle, and normally AJ's like, hey, I know what I'm doing.
Great, you put the seed in his brain.
Oh, don't do this. 248-539-9797.
Well done, Tom. Well done.
I can't win. I want to hear from you guys. Steve in Monroe. Steve, good morning.
Hey, guys. Great show, as always. You make my mornings. Look, I want to talk about this year versus last year, because last year, a great example was who was your number one starting pitcher last year, who got the most starts. It was this guy named TBD. And that juggling was because there was no egos on this team. And now you've got this team this year that they rolled into the season with all this momentum from last year, and they came out of the gates great. And then came the All-Star break. And you named 4 guys to the All-Star team, and what happens after that? They collapse.
Yeah.
Every ego on this team is different than it was last year, because last year, anybody could pinch hit at any point in time. It was 100% analytics. And when you do that, all those egos, they're just not – it was like a great AAA All-Star team. Nobody really cared if they got pulled out of the game. Now, what are we talking about? Oh, you can't pull this guy. You can't pull that guy. You have to. You have no choice. You have to go with the guy that's going to perform in the situation. And in my mind, Riley Greene's not that guy in that situation. So, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, it's really on Riley that he hasn't made himself a better player, and it's on Scott Harris that they don't have any better options. And again, I'm not defending AJ's game in totality. He blinked first pulling Mize. He made the wrong decision going Melton when Herter was warmed up. Stephen Vogt outmanaged him. And the Tigers collectively, it's actually not even only on the one at bat with Jemai Jones, as much as that's become the source of a lot of, frustration. 1 of 15. 248-539-9797. The texter says 1 of 15 is all there needs to be said. They should have won that game in the 4th inning. It shouldn't have even come down to Melton or pinch hitting Greene. They flat out blew it. Javi, ironically, is the only one doing anything. Signed, Steve. Some people on your side, John. This one says, amen, John. Benching Riley was unacceptable. Another one says, Hinch flinched yesterday. Pinch hit for a guy we haven't done that all year for, and then went to a rookie in a high-stress situation in the 8th. Saying Hinch flinched. Hinch cost us the game.
Well, I just don't think AJ had a really good day yesterday. I think Mize came out too early, and this is me on the heels of saying yesterday, AJ is going to have to decide to pull Casey Mize right before things go bad. And I just don't think things were about to go bad. He had, 62 pitches. I think you have another inning in him.
One more time through that
Yeah,
that heart of the order.
And then if it and not that AJ is trying to save any type of his reputation, but if he goes in and finishes the fourth, things go bad in the fourth, we're all sitting there going, kind of had to because of you didn't want to get to the bullpen too soon. And it's on Casey Mize not being able to be the all-star he was in the moment that you needed him. And you needed Riley Greene to be that all-star. You needed Casey Mize to be that all-star. You needed all these guys to be who they were at the beginning of the season, and they're just not anymore.
Can we meet on the same page here? I'm looking over at the Twitch board, and it says Riley Greene is the better defender than Jahmai Jones. Can we agree that that's irrelevant in this spot? You're looking for the best AB in a tie game to take the lead. You're not worried about defense at that point.
Say that again?
That it doesn't matter if Riley's the better defender. You're making the call to take the lead right now. It just strictly comes down to who you trust at the plate more. And if you want to make the case you trust Riley, then fine. But I can't factor in whose glove is going to be more valuable in the eighth. Okay, I need to score now.
The answer that is the right answer is there's none of them that you trust. Yeah.
I would argue that, and I don't know how you would look up something like this, that Riley Greene had the most regular season home runs ever and then got pinch hit for in the playoffs. Seriously.
So you'd have to find a hitter who hit more than 36 homers who was pinch hit for in a playoff game.
Yeah.
That wasn't injured too.
Yeah. That was just naturally pinch hit for.
I get why it's startling.
The record.
You're right. It might be. I get why it's startling. All right, guys. We are going to revisit how the series is going to wrap up later in the show. We've got more of your phone calls. It's 97.1.